This woman didn't tell a single truth, and this man was also intentionally lying. The woman said she hadn't dated anyone in over 40 years. The man said he wasn't interested in women, except for someone as unique as her. He also claimed he was a lumberjack from the mountains, but in reality he was a police officer. The two went to a small inn on their first meeting. What seemed like the start of a lifelong romance ended just 2 days later, with them becoming passing strangers in each other's lives. Mark used to be a detective. He was so focused on work that he neglected his family, and his wife, who was always home alone, had an affair. Even though their son was already 4, Mark still chose to get a divorce. After they left, he threw himself even deeper into work. One day, while chatting with a colleague, an officer rushed over to report a serious shooting had just occurred. They rushed to the scene, and tragedy struck again. While Mark and his partner were checking passing cars, they ran into the shooter. Without hesitation, the suspect pulled out a gun and fired, then stepped on the gas and disappeared without a trace. Mark's partner was killed, and the incident had a huge impact on Mark. The worst part was, Mark had once been an Olympic shooter, so naturally, he became the public's #1 target for blame. Not long after, another violent case occurred. No matter how much his elderly mother pleaded, the suspect refused to surrender. With no other option, Mark disguised himself as a food delivery man, got close to the kidnapper, and took him out. When he came back downstairs, the suspect's mother broke down in tears, and later accused the police of being heartless. 12 years later, on New Year's Eve, Mark was planning to return home to spend the holiday with his parents. After getting off the train, he missed the last ferry. Luckily, he found a small tavern with its lights still on. When he saw the lady owner, he suddenly perked up, because earlier at the station, he had already noticed this woman spending New Year's alone running a bar. Mark tested the waters, and said he was a lumberjack with the Forestry Bureau. Then he asked if she had any family at home. Just as the red and white song battle was playing, the woman sang along excitedly. As things grew a bit awkward, she suddenly turned to Mark and said, "If there's no ferry tomorrow, let's go see a movie together." The next morning, they took a ride 20 kilometers out to catch a movie. The woman laughed out loud, but Mark didn't react at all. Maybe he wasn't staying for the movie in the first place. While eating, she chatted with Mark, and soon expressed her feelings directly. Later that day, the two of them ended up at a small inn in broad daylight. Maybe it was loneliness and emotion mixing together, reaching a peak on this special day, that led them to do something that felt impulsive, yet strangely inevitable. That night, after a day spent together, Mark couldn't sleep and started overthinking. If this woman was willing to live life with him, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea. The woman also couldn't sleep. She called him and invited him to the bar for a drink. Tonight's snacks were especially generous, and she was more enthusiastic than the day before. Her eyes were full of affection for Mark. After a few drinks, she leaned into his arms, quietly listening to the music from the TV, enjoying the rare feeling of holiday warmth.